Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. So if your washer is leaking from the bottom, don't worry. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it. Good news is most of these leaks are totally fixable with basic tools and won't cost you a fortune. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group. Links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. All right, so picture this. You walk into your laundry room and there's water all over the floor under your washer. Your heart sinks because you're thinking expensive repair bill, right? Well, here's the thing. After fixing hundreds of these leaky washers, I can tell you that about 80% of the time it's something you can handle yourself. Safety first, though. We're going to unplug that washer before we do anything. Most people think it's got to be some complicated internal problem, but trust me, it's usually one of these 7 common culprits I'm about to show you. So the internal drain hose, this little guy connects your drain pump to the rest of the drainage system inside your washer. You can see on the screen right now where this hose is located underneath the machine. Now here's what happens. Over time, this hose takes a beating from all the vibration and water pressure. I had this customer last month who moved her washer to a new house, and wouldn't you know it, the thing started leaking the next day. Turns out the internal drain hose got damaged during the move. Don't ask me how that happens, but it does. What you're going to do is get down there and inspect this hose. Look for any cracks, tears, or soft spots where it might be ready to give out. Gently flex the hose. If you see any damage, that's your leak right there. Now, here's the deal. Once this hose is compromised, there's no patching it up. You got to replace it, and it's going to run you about 15 to 30 bucks for the part. Way cheaper than calling someone like me out there. To replace it, you'll need a flathead screwdriver and pliers. This repair takes about 30 to 45 minutes. First, disconnect your water lines, remove the external drain hose, and carefully tilt that washer back to get access. Use your pliers to slide those spring clamps down, pull out the old hose, and install the new one. When reassembling, make sure those clamps are positioned properly and tight. Loose clamps are the number one cause of repeat leaks. Moving on to the external drain hose, this is the big gray hose that goes from the back of your washer into your drain pipe. You can see it right there behind your machine. This one's actually pretty common, and I'll tell you why. People push their washers too close to the wall, and when that thing starts shaking during the spin cycle, it crushes the hose against the wall. I remember this guy with an LG front loader. His washer was literally touching the wall. Every time it hit that high spin, the hose was getting pinched and eventually it cracked. Water everywhere. The fix here is straightforward. Pull your washer out and take a good look at that drain hose. Bend it gently and check for any damage. If it's cracked or torn, you're looking at about 15 to 40 bucks for a replacement. Unplug everything, pull the hose out of the drain, remove those screws holding it to the back of the machine, and swap in the new one. Here's your pro tip to prevent this from happening again. Leave at least 4 to 6 inches between your washer and the wall. Your washer needs room to move during that spin cycle, and this spacing also makes it easier to access for future maintenance. Trust me, that extra space will save you headaches down the road. Another thing that catches people off guard is the dispenser hose. This short little hose runs from your water inlet valve to the soap dispenser, and when it goes bad, it can dump water all over the place. You won't see this one without removing the back panel of your washer. I helped out a Facebook group member whose Samsung front loader was making a mess on her hardwood floors. We checked all the obvious stuff first, but it turned out to be this dispenser hose that had developed a pinhole leak. Here's how you find it. Remove that back access panel and locate the hose connecting to your dispenser system. Look for any signs of water damage or obvious cracks. If the hose is compromised, you're going to need to replace it. This one's a bit more involved because you got to work from both the back and front of the machine. Remove the wire connector from the water inlet valve, slide down those clamps, and carefully remove the old hose assembly. Cut your new hose to match the old one's length, reinstall everything, and you should be good to go. Parts usually run about $25 to $30. Now let's talk about the tub to pump hose. This thick internal hose connects your outer tub to the drain pump. When this thing goes bad, you're typically going to notice leaking during the drain cycle specifically. I saw a Reddit post where someone's LG top loader was only leaking when it tried to drain. Classic sign of this hose failing. Here's what's happening. Over years of use, this hose weakens from constant pressure changes and eventually develops a crack or tear. The tricky part is getting to it because you got to tip your washer forward to access the bottom. Safety first, put on work gloves and make sure you have help with this step because washers are heavy. Remove the rear panel, then carefully tilt that machine forward onto a padded stool or foam blocks. You'll see this thick black hose running between the tub and pump. It's usually about 2 inches in diameter. Place several towels underneath because you're definitely going to get a water spill when you disconnect it. Have a bucket ready too. Slide those clamps, remove the old hose, and install the new one. This repair runs about 18 to 35 bucks for the part, and it's definitely doable if you take your time and stay safe. All right, so now we're going to talk about problem number 6, a faulty drain pump. Trust me on this one, I've seen more drain pump failures than I care to count, and they're usually pretty obvious once you know what to look for. Now, here's the thing about drain pumps. You can see on the screen right now, they're located right underneath your washer, and when they go bad, you're going to know it. The pump is what moves all that dirty water out of your machine during the drain cycle, and when it fails, that water's got to go somewhere, usually all over your laundry room floor. Here's what I've learned over the years. Drain pump failures usually happen in one of two ways. Either the pump motor burns out completely, or the impeller inside gets clogged up with debris like coins, hair ties, or small socks. Don't ask me how I know that, but I've pulled some pretty interesting stuff out of these pumps. The telltale signs are pretty clear. If your washer is making grinding or humming noises during the drain cycle, or if it's leaving water sitting in the tub after a wash, that's your drain pump crying for help. You might also notice water pooling underneath the machine, especially during or right after the drain cycle. Now, replacing a drain pump isn't the cheapest repair. You're looking at anywhere from 20 to 100 bucks for the part, depending on your washer model. But here's the good news. It's definitely something we can tackle ourselves with the right tools and a little patience. The process involves tilting the washer back, accessing the pump from underneath, disconnecting the hoses and electrical connections, and swapping in the new pump. It's a bit more involved than replacing a hose, but trust me, it's totally doable if you take your time and follow the steps carefully. Tub seals are where things get a bit more complicated, but they're definitely a common leak source.
Yeah, it's your
These
tub.
seals prevent water from escaping the tub area,
Yep.
and when they fail, you get water underneath your machine. Front load washers actually have two tub seals, while top loaders have one
Yeah,
located
it's your
under the
tub.
outer tub. The challenge here is that accessing these seals often means taking apart a good chunk of your washer. If you're dealing with a front loader, you might need to remove the front panel and even the drum to get to the inner seal. For top loaders, you're looking at removing the agitator and possibly the tub assembly. Now, I got to be straight with you. This is where we move from beginner to intermediate skill level. If you've successfully done brake jobs on your car or built furniture from scratch, you can probably handle this. But if removing the other hoses felt challenging, this might be the time to call a professional. The repair itself can take 2 to 4 hours, and you'll need a full socket set and possibly a strap wrench. The seals themselves are pretty cheap, 5 to 30 bucks, but the labor to get there is significant. For front-loading washers, that big rubber door seal can be a major leak source. This boot seal stretches around the entire door opening, and it takes a beating from clothes, zippers, and general wear and tear. What happens is small tears develop, usually at the bottom of the seal, where water tends to collect. I've seen everything from tiny pinholes to major rips that let water pour right out onto the floor. Check that seal carefully. Run your hand along the bottom edge and look for any damage. Sometimes you'll see soap residue or mold buildup around damaged areas. If you find small tears, there are temporary patch kits, but honestly, replacing the whole seal is the permanent fix. These seals run about $35 to $60, and installation involves removing the door and front panel. Here's a critical safety point. That spring clamp holding the seal is under serious tension and can cause injury if it snaps back. Always wear safety glasses and use proper clamp pliers designed for this job. Work slowly and keep your face away from the clamp when releasing it. Some techs use a flat blade screwdriver to carefully work around the clamp, but clamp pliers are definitely the safer choice. If you guys know someone who's having appliance troubles, please send them the link to this video or a link to my channel where I have tons of other videos showing how to fix pretty common issues with appliances, sometimes for free or as little cost as possible. It sure beats having a repairman come out and spending several hundred for them to fix it when it could be something so simple. If this helped you get your washer working again, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.